Hello everyone, this is New World Updates and today is the 23rd of April 2023. In the news this morning, the armed forces of Ukraine landed some forces in the vicinity of the Antonovsky Bridge in Kherson. These are a small group of forces of about 30 soldiers. Russian military bloggers have provided geographical locations-based video footage and text messages to confirm that Ukrainian troops took up positions on the eastern left bank of Kherson region as of April 22nd, although there are no specific informations on what scale and with what intentions. Social medias are buzzing about Ukrainian troops landing on the left bank of the Dnipro, near Kherson, and possible actions there. Action has been taking place there for some time, but at least for the moment, neither the purpose nor the scale of the action is clear. Could this be one of the directions for an attack in the forthcoming counter-offensive? Operations of Ukraine? Probably yes, of course, but it is an extremely difficult mission, given the complexity of such an operation and, in particular, of ensuring its continuity. It is one thing to move in with a certain amount of capability, but it is quite another to build up capability and provide it. The Ukrainians have received additional anti-aircraft and anti-missile systems, including Patriot. Based on estimation, these systems will be used for front-line tasks and not for the defense of facilities. These systems are designed for exactly the tasks that the Ukrainians will have to perform. In the case of an active offensive operations in the area, Russian troops will heavily rely on their aviation. The Russians have now accumulated a considerable number of missiles and have built up and deployed aviation capabilities in such a way that they can be used safely and efficiently enough. Russian troops continued to conduct offensive operations along the Avdiivka-Donetsk front and carried out a limited ground attack in the western part of the Donetsk region. On the situation at Bakhmut city from the eastern axis, Russian army took control over the first high buildings adjacent to the railway, thus moving the front line to Poljava and Pavla Novorodsova streets. Meanwhile, from the south, troops secured Hialagiv and Ryhry-Skovorody streets and tried to enter in the Industrial College, but were repelled by Ukrainian army. The situation in Bakhmut for Ukrainian soldiers has worsened in the last 2 days. The Ukrainian army suffers heavy losses in Bakhmut. The situation for Ukrainian soldiers has worsened in the past 2 days. A large number of Ukrainian soldiers have already been wounded or killed here. There is a particular risk after night, said Der Spiegel. The battles for the city have been going on for several months. The Russian army controls most of the settlement. Fights are being fought in the central and western quarters of Bakhmut. Fierce fighting continues in Bakhmut. Stormtroopers of the Wagner mercenaries push through the defense of the Ukrainian formations, which are concentrated in the western part of the city. On the eve, footage confirming the control of the upper park and the occupation of the Bakhmut 2 railway station appeared. Now the musicians are working to advance towards high-rise buildings right behind the station. The offensive is complicated by a favorable location at a height, the presence of machine gunners and snipers. According to some reports, it is said that the Ukrainians plan to attack Russian troops and mercenaries of the Wagner in Syria by Ukrainian State Security Service. The Washington Post, citing U.S. intelligence, reports that Ukraine's security service was preparing plans to attack Russian forces in Syria with the help of the Kurds, but Vladimir Zelensky ordered to suspend the planning in December. The attacks were thus meant to force Russia to take casualties and possibly force it to redeploy resources, weakening its position in the special military operation zone in Ukraine. Russian aerospace forces strike on the armed forces of Ukraine ammunition depot near Kupiansk. In recent weeks, Russian aviation has been stepping up its use of universal planning and correction kit aerial bombs in various parts of the front. Near the village of Grushka, west of Kupiansk, a VKS bomber destroyed a Ukrainian ammunition depot located in a hangar near the railway station. The footage from the arrival site clearly shows scattered 152mm and 155mm ammunition as well as burned equipment. Characteristically, the impacted object was at a distance of 30 kilometers from the line of contact. This demonstrates that with the advent of the gliding aerial bombs, the Russian aerospace forces are capable of carrying out bombing strikes in the rear of the armed forces of Ukraine without entering the Ukrainian air defense zone. In the case of correct targeting and competent combat use, gliding aerial bombs munitions pose a serious threat to the enemy. On the reports on a shortage of missiles by the Ukrainian army, the armed forces of Ukraine are forced to use outdated Jordanian 9m-33m2 missiles on their OSA-KM air defense systems, instead of the more advanced 9m-33m3. On April 18, a video of the destruction of the Ukrainian forces uses the AKM system with missiles in the color characteristic of the Jordanian army. Exactly the same 9m-33m2 missiles were previously used by the Jordanian army on their OSA-KM systems. Then the missiles were decommissioned along with the launchers, after which they ended up in Armenia, where they performed extremely unsuccessfully during the Second Karabakh War, both due to low serviceability of the launchers themselves and outdated characteristics of 9m-33m2 missiles. On April 1, one of the Ukrainian channels made an interview with the operator of OSA-KM air defense system, who, standing against the backdrop of Jordanian 9m-33m2 missiles, said that the missiles supplied have a probability of hitting UAVs of only 50 to 60% in contrast to Soviet missiles with. The Ukrainian armed forces fired rockets at the village, Alchevsk-Luhansk People Republic with the use of MLRS HIMARS missiles. As a result of the shelling, the boiler house was destroyed, as well as the glazing of 7 one-story residential buildings, and the gas pipeline were damaged. Employees of the investigative committee of the Russian Federation are working at the crime scene. At night, Russian troops attacked gas stations and fuel depots belonging to car parks in the Novobaversky district of Kharkov, as well as in the village of Kolyari and other territorial entities within the city. In the Starobelsk direction, the Russian armed forces hit the positions of the armed forces of Ukraine in Novominsk, Masyutovka, Sinkovka, Makivka and Nevsky. Ukrainian positions in Ugledar, Prechistovka and Bolshaya and Novoselka were hit in the Yuzhny-Donetsk direction. In the Zaporozhye region, the Russian armed forces worked on the concentrations of manpower and equipment of the armed forces of Ukraine in Gulyaipol, Malaya Tokmivka and Novoandriivka. In the southern sector of the front, Russian fighters attacked enemy targets in Berislav, Antonovka and the vicinity of Kherson. The armed forces of Ukraine once again fired on civilian targets in Novokakhovka, Kakhovka and Kardashinka. In Kupiansk direction, the Army Aviation of the Zapad group of forces destroyed 2 platoon strongpoints and 3 personnel shelters to the south of Olshany in the area of Ogortsevo and Krugloy. 2 enemy sabotage and reconnaissance groups were uncovered and destroyed near Molchanovo and Krakmanoy. 2 rotation attempts were impeded near Sinkovka and Timpovka. 2 S-3 Akitsia self-propelled gun was destroyed by 2 S-19 Stas artillery system, fire under the command of Corporal Alexei Leshchik near Petropavlovka. The enemy suffered losses in manpower and equipment. This report was made by press center officer of Zapad group of forces. In the Volga sector, Russian troops with massive artillery support unexpectedly attacked in the direction of Bolshaya and Novosioka and managed to push through the defense of the armed forces of Ukraine. The armed forces of the Russian Federation have not conducted offensive operations in this area for a long time. Russian troops also launched a ground attack on the outskirts of Vuhledar but without success. That's all for now, and if you enjoyed my video, please help me by liking the video and make your comments to tell me what you think. And finally, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification button so that you will receive notifications anytime I post a new video. See you in my next video.